Okay, it started. So we are the Public Works Committee, and today is May 16th, 1922, and the time is 10:07.
1922?
2022. Sorry, 2022. 2022. I'm going back in time. 2022. What's the time? I guess we all have is 10:07, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Jay Walk from District 5, and I'm calling the meeting to order, and we'll let Lisa take it away.
All right. Jay is present. Frank, Batiste. Frank here? Yay.
I'm here.
Myself, I'm here. Andrew, are you here? Andrew. All right, not here. And Christine Brown, are you here?
I am here.
Thank you. Peter Brenton, are you here?
I am here.
Awesome. Ken Arista, are you here?
I am.
And I'm sorry, I think I put an R in your name.
It's after
Karen
Rita, but
McCormick.
believe me, I've been called a lot worse, so don't worry about it.
Not by me. Not by me. All right.
Not by me either.
So
McCormick
we
is
have
here.
everybody except Andrew.
Andrew.
So we have
Okay.
a quorum, Chairman. You may.
Yep. So let's start the meeting. So we're going to go to, where is it? I don't know, Mark was throwing numbers on my agenda were different than what Mark, he would say 10, I had 12. Well, anyway, so why don't we go, what was the first thing we did was the parking, right?
Actually, Jay, if we could start with the minutes.
Oh, okay. That would be good too, Lisa. Thanks for reminding me. So why don't we take a motion to amend, approve the minutes? Who wants to make the motion? Anybody?
This is
So I'll make
this
the
is
motion.
Ken. I'll make the motion.
Okay, so Ken will make the motion. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it, Peter.
That's Peter. Okay. So all those in favor of the minute? Well, first of all, do we have any discussion on the minutes? Anybody have anything you want to add or say?
I'm sorry.
All right. I'm
I
sorry.
apologize. Who made the second?
Peter Britton.
Thank you.
So all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Abstain? So the minutes pass, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. So now we'll go to, I guess I have on my agenda number 3 for pursuant of the mandate of the parking regulations. Anybody want to anything about that? Is that something we're voting on? I guess
Yes.
Yeah, we need a
Voting
vote on that. So
2/3, right? A 2/3 vote. So
I'll
anybody
make
want
a motion to waive the reading in this committee meeting and to have a discussion on it as presented.
Anybody want a second? I'll second. Jay will second.
All right. So let me understand. Karen, this is Lisa, District 6. Karen, you're saying you don't want to make a motion for voting, but you want to make a motion for discussion?
No, first
No, to
we have
waive
to bring
the-
it before the committee, I thought. So first we need a motion to waive the reading of it, right?
No. I think what you're looking for is a motion to accept as presented.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Jay, will you second that?
Thanks, yeah. Yeah, I'll second that. So now we're open for discussion.
And Jay,
Yeah,
this
I
is
think
on
given
the,
this
is
Karen
on the
McCormick,
ADU?
given the fact that it
You
was
wanna wait?
unanimously approved by the TPZ, and I kind of thought, oh, shit, I just dropped something. I kind of rely on their expertise on these things, that if they
I agree
are
with you.
seeking some time to kind of figure out how they're going to handle this long term, that we should kind of defer to their expertise and support them in what they need. That's my take.
I agree. I agree. I agree with
Ken,
that.
I agree with that.
They don't have much from us. I think we should support them in any way we can.
Well, this is their purview. This is not ours.
Correct.
So anyway, so all right, so then we're all okay with it. So let's go to the next. Want to go to the next item? We're all set.
Sorry,
I think
guys.
we have to formally vote on it.
Oh, we got to vote. Okay. So all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, abstain.
I
that
do,
passed.
Lisa.
Oh,
No,
Lisa
yeah, it
abstain.
does pass, but I abstain.
Okay. So it passes. All right, now we're going to go to I guess the next one I have down is the Fairfield Police Department union contract. Is that right? Number
I'd
4.
like to make a motion to accept that as presented.
Yes?
This is Ken. I'll second it.
Okay. So, anybody have any comments about this?
Seem like the changes that they're looking for are reasonable in light of the fact that it's for mourning in the event of a death of a member. It seemed pretty reasonable to me. And
Yeah, so do I. Really, anything to make it easier. So why don't we just go right to the vote? Everybody in favor? Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? So that passes. So the next part, we're going to go to the Rooster River. I guess we're all in favor of that. Anyone want to make a motion?
Jay, we
I'm sorry?
can skip that because it wasn't presented.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it wasn't? I thought. Oh, right. Nobody did.
Bishop wasn't there, so
Right. That's right.
Wait till
Thanks
next
for
week.
reminding me. Okay, so that's passed. So let's go over to the next one down is I have facility systems upgrade, the 1.949.778 for the cost of the town-wide facility system. So I hear a motion.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. It's my layout on my pages.
Yeah, I have it at 6. Mark had it when he was reading it. I thought it was maybe it was.
No,
whatever.
you're absolutely perfect, Ruth. I did something silly. That's all. Don't mind me.
That's okay. You're not silly. I'm the one who's silly. That's why they call me the director of whatever. Anyway, so, of entertainment. So we're at 6. So anybody want to make a motion to accept? Anybody?
I will make a motion to
To approve. I mean,
as presented.
right. So Karen, anybody want to second it?
I'll second it, Peter. Sounds right.
Okay, so Peter seconds it. Anybody want to discuss this, or you want to go right to a vote?
Vote.
Vote. So all those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? All right, that passes. All right, here we go to the next one. Where was this? So the emergency radio project.
This is Ken. I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, anybody
Thank
want to
you.
second that? Thanks, Ken.
Frank.
Frank seconds it. Thanks, Frank. So, any discussion?
Sounds like it's needed.
So I'm agreeing with that. All right, let's go to a vote. Everybody in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Abstentions? That passes. Perfect. The next one down is the number 8, 2.250 million for the tide gate system.
Oh,
That's
you know what?
too. What?
Hold on. I made a mistake. Number
okay,
8 is is the one that was tabled. I had written down
Okay.
the wrong number. I
that's
apologize,
tabled.
everyone.
No, it's okay. Glad you
So
picked
we
up
need
on
to-
it, Lee. So what do we
So we
need
need
to do?
go.
Back?
Which one did I say? Was the Rooster River. So we need to go back to
Right.
Rooster River.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We had some kind of somebody talked
You know,
about
I
the-
should listen to you always, Jay.
Schmidt. No, not always. Schmidt talked about it, right?
Yes.
Right. So I didn't say. I just want everybody to know. I didn't say anything. I was gonna say a couple of things, but I'm just glad it's happening. I'm telling you guys who don't live on this end of town, who we have to deal with this is just horrible. I did. Just want you guys to know I did a walk around with my other rep, Diaz, and he showed me some things here in town where the river is really doing damage to people's homes, and it's really sad. And I'm just happy it's finally happening, and I won't belabor my thing, but I'm just glad it's all things are starting. You know what I mean? Like the ball's rolling. I tell you, I was caught. I don't know if you guys remember that flash rainstorm we had. Like I think it was 2016 or something. I think it was, and I picked my wife up at the metro station. It took me over an hour, almost 2 hours to get back from the metro station to get over to here to Stratfield Road. It was just Stratfield Road. I've never been involved. I saw this in my life. It was like a river. It was just an absolute river coming down. We had to turn around. We couldn't go any further. It was getting so bad. So I just hope finally, we're not going to solve the whole thing and stop some of the flooding, but at least we can stop most of it. And, maybe people can get back to their lives again, stop worrying about their homes being flooded out by this river. But anyway, sorry I brought that up. I'm done. Anybody else want to talk about the river?
Can I get a second and a motion and a second?
Well, I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it, McCormick.
Thank you.
Karen will second it. All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The right thing.
All those opposed, abstain, and that passes. Thanks, everybody. And I do want to thank our first select woman also. I have to tell you that she's been really instrumental in getting this project done and helping. So I want everybody to know that she's been really great at this too. And, we give people accolades when they deserve it. Brenda deserves this. She really did do a lot of work in putting this together with Bill Hurley. So I want to thank Brenda. So anyway, we go on to the next one. Where are we? So we did that.
Hey, Jay, it's Peter. Just to add to that, I was just going to say that's the kind of thing the town really needs to do, right? You got a river situation. It's nothing you guys are doing with your houses. That's the town needs to step up and do that. So I applaud it all the way.
Absolutely. And, Bill Hurley's been, I have to tell you, Bill Hurley's been great. He really has been. He's a very smart man. And Brenda's been great, the two of them, and whoever else has been helping. And, getting, they're bringing in Bridgeport finally. Bridgeport's helping. All the money's helping from their public works. So, anyway, I was at a press conference.
They have to work in a coordinated effort because the development upstream is the thing that's causing the problems. I actually grew up on Rooster River on Wilson Street, and we played in the river and fished in the river and swam in the river, skated on the river. But over time, when developments happen and they reconfigure stuff upstream, it's affected everybody downstream, and a little change can really hurt. I'm actually I'm an attorney representing a property owner who's going to be purchasing a property on Stratfield Road, and there's no house on the property anymore. So it's an undeveloped lot, but it's actually subject to a blight situation for the town of Fairfield right now because there's a pool, an in-ground pool, that is literally falling into the Rooster River. And what we've been told is that there was probably another 20 feet of property behind this pool some time ago, not that long ago, and that because of the Rooster River erosion, has been taken away from the back of this property. The pool is literally falling into the river. So this is a real serious problem, and that's that's an abandoned lot on Strathfield Road heading down towards Brooklawn, but I can only
Is this
imagine
by
what it's like for
Assumption
everybody else along the river.
Karen, is this
It's
behind
past Assumption on the
Church?
right, yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Past
I know
Assumption
the
on right-hand
property.
side.
I know the property you're talking about. Matter of fact,
Yep.
I was at a town hall meeting about the river, and the people who live there, I forgot a property owner who lived there something was happening with the house that she can't live there or something. Maybe this is the property. I vaguely remember.
There's no house there anymore.
Oh, so the house? Wow, the house is gone.
Yeah, the house didn't fall, and the house didn't go because of the river.
Right.
The
No, right. I know.
It's falling
Hey,
in.
guys.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
I hate to,
Yeah, let's go.
break
We can
up
move
a
it
really
on.
good conversation.
Okay.
Later.
So we're all set with the Rooster River. So why don't we go to the end? So did we vote? We all voted yes, right? So we'll go to
Yep.
we'll go to 12, and that's the final. In the end was the Ward High School, the rooftop units.
No, we
That's
actually
with the
didn't
HVAC?
do
Did you do the HVAC?
the $7 million for air conditioning. We still have to
Right,
do that one.
Wait a
And
minute.
you didn't do the turf field yet.
Right,
we
that's
haven't done
it.
number 9.
Yeah, we need to do the transfer station.
I thought we did the transfer
Then-
station. Huh? Okay.
No.
We got to number
All right,
8,
No.
and that's when Lisa said that's the one we didn't hear about. So number 8 is, I don't know, what do we do? Table it or ignore it? I don't know what we do with it.
We
Right, she
just
said
ignore
table
it.
8. Right.
Okay.
So then we did 9,
9.
which we have to do now because I went back. So let's do 9 now.
Okay. So who wants to make a motion for 9 to?
Oh, yeah, we did the
Anybody?
radio project. Sorry.
Yeah, we did that. We passed
So
that.
who's going to give me the,
I'll give you the motion.
and you are?
Jay.
Got to say it out
Sorry.
loud, buddy.
I'm sorry, Jay. Anybody want a
And
second?
seconded by?
I'll second it.
I'll
before
second
minute.
it. It's Christine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. So, anybody want to have any discussion on this?
No.
Much needed project?
Seems reasonable.
Yep, I agree. So let's vote. So everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? No. Nobody says no, and anybody abstains? So this passes. Okay, cool. So now where do we go? Where would go, Lisa? Where are we?
Item number 10.
And
So we're at 10. Okay, so this is for the Roger Ludlow turf,
Mm-hmm.
$4.125 million.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little perturbed that, there's not
Do
a baseball.
I hear a motion?
Oh, yeah, let's do a motion. Voice not talking.
Frank.
So, yeah, anybody want to do a motion? So, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Anybody want a second? And hear a second?
I'll second it, Peter. Yep, second it.
Peter.
Thank you.
All right, so we're open for discussion. Anybody have anything want to talk about this?
This is Ken. I'll just make a comment. I'm going to support it. Normally, something like this, I would look really, really long and hard at this kind of an expense for this kind of an item. But I didn't live here. I didn't grow up here. But just coming to learn and understand a lot of the history here, it seems to me at this point, this is probably a project that is long overdue and really needed to be done years and years ago. So
Yeah.
I will support it.
I'm glad you said that.
Thank
That
you.
was great that you said that. Thank you. Really.
I would add, if I could, Jay, as
Okay.
Peter just to add, there are definitely two sides to this argument, and I can appreciate both sides with regard to the health concerns and turf.
Mhm.
But I think at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot more use out of the turf. So again, why I'm supporting it is I think at the end, all the kids will get a lot more use out of this with a lot more sports. So.
No, I'm supporting it also. I'm
Yeah.
supporting this also, but I'm also hearing the cries for, this is Jay. I'm hearing the cries for, health for the kids and the rubber and all that. I'm learning this myself. I mean,
Yeah.
so this is all new to me. I mean, but I'm a little upset that there's no, Anthony said that there's no room for a baseball field. somebody made a comment once that they thought baseball was dying or something, and then I got a little worried that they're not putting a baseball field in. Say maybe thinking the same thing. Why are we putting a baseball field in if baseball is not going to be around, later on in our lifetime or so? But I hope that never happens. But I'm glad Pam said something. That she brought that
Jay,
up.
I've got
also.
news for you. I got news for you. We've already arrived at later in our lifetime.
Oh.
And it's still here, so we're good.
All right. That was
Working
very
the
funny.
mission, man.
That was
Working the
very
mission.
funny. You're going to be the new director of entertainment, Karen.
I'm right on your heels, so it's a combination statement for all of us.
I know. I got that part. Anyway,
I'd like to just say on the
good,
issue of the turf fields, I'd just like to comment that I did some deep digging on this issue because I had read some stuff on social media that people were concerned about this crumb rubber issue. And there was a reference in our backup materials to the fact that they were going to be using this crumb rubber, which in fact turned out to be an older version. I guess Anthony admitted it was an older version. But based upon the representation that they're going to be looking at that, I don't know if it's called EnviroFill,
Yes.
I think that is far less concerning. I know that Westport banned the use of the crumb rubber, and so as he indicated, Hartford did. So I think that there's something to be said for the fact that the fields are certainly overtaxed and overburdened, and there needs to be some pressure relief here for all the fields to be used by all the people that want them and the demand out there. But I also think something needs to be placed upon the record that this does not mean. I think Jill Vergara may have indicated this in her comments. This does not mean that we're going to start carpeting all the fields in town with artificial turf. This is not the opening of the door to start, asking for this to be done in all the fields in the town. We do need natural grass fields, but I'll support this go around. But I think we've got to look long and hard if more demands and requests come from the athletic folks in the future to continue to do this throughout the town. I think that's where we have to kind of decide where we're going to cut off the spigot on this stuff. A, due to expense, and B, due to the health consequences.
This is Christine, and I would say I agree with what Ken said, Peter said, and Karen said, that I can see both sides of this issue. My son played on the Ward field for many years, and I had those little black pellets in my house.
Everywhere.
You just couldn't get rid of them. They were everywhere. And even when my children were little, I think they were on playgrounds where using shredded tires was considered advanced and great. And who knows what they played with. When my son was 24, he was diagnosed with cancer. So every time you hear about one of these environmental concerns, you start to wonder, what in the environment is really toxic. So I'm going to support it also, and I agree that I think in this case it's really justified, but we definitely need sort of a master plan for the field.
Christine, I got there. Just to interrupt for a second. Hopefully, if you're not finished, I'll shut up. But
No, I'm
sorry. I'm from my heart, I'm sorry to hear that. Is he okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 7 years and he's alive.
Oh, thank goodness. No, thank goodness. Sorry to hear that.
Rough time. Thank you.
I think the scary part for all of us is that, when people come out and say things like, there's no evidence to indicate that this substance is harmful, I think the problem is that by the time you have the evidence that indicates the substance is harmful, you've already caused the harm. And I don't rely on government statements saying that we know nothing, we have no information to indicate that this is harmful, as akin to saying we haven't had enough time to study the issues. So I agree with everybody. And I'm usually not a scaredy cat about this stuff. I'm usually like, live and let live. What advancement's great, fine. But this is one area where I think, kids running around and rubbing themselves on fields, and I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a sign that was posted on Fair Plan's page, which was allegedly a warning sign that used to be in Westport that talked about if you've been on this field, you need to go home immediately and take a shower and take all your clothes off and basically disinfect yourself. And that was cause for a lot of concern. But that was the crumb rubber opinion.
What is
Right.
what is the NFL and Major League Baseball use, or forget even them? What does the universities use, for their fields? I mean, I'm wondering, what their composites of their turf is.
I'm sure that as this technology has advanced and gone away from the crumb rubber because there's reason to believe that it is harmful, they're moving to this EnviroFill stuff as well, in all likelihood. I don't know for sure, but I would guess it moved in that direction.
It probably depends on.
I would think Anthony would know that.
I can't be sure, but I thought I read something maybe within just the last couple of years that the NFL changed, moved away from the rubber fill.
So they did also.
I think so.
I'm sure you can Google it. Google has it.
It's Peter.
Right.
I think you're right. The NFL moved away from the rubber.
Baseball doesn't use baseball. I don't think.
Baseball
doesn't. I think there's only maybe one or two fields in baseball that still use turf.
Right. That's the indoor use, but all the outdoor baseball has mostly grass fields.
Well,
right?
so does soccer.
Yeah. Think about it. Grass is the gold standard. If you have a choice and you can use grass, you'd want that. But
exactly.
This is a situation where we can't have grass due to the overuse and the weather conditions and all that good stuff. The Major League Baseball has the ability to kind of spend unlimited dollars to have a perfect grass field.
Yeah.
And to rest it and all that.
And the money, right?
I just want
and the money, yep.
Think so. Hey, it's Frank. Want to say,
so, all right. This is Lisa. Jay, did I hear you call for a vote?
Oh, no, I didn't know. Frank, ready to call for a vote?
Frank was in the middle of a sentence, so we should...
Yeah, no, that's okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, no,
I apologize, Frank.
No, it's all right. I just want to say I support it. I think ideally, in a perfect world, grass is best. I think we all can agree on that. I just think from the usage the fields get, in full disclosure, I have 3 kids who play on the fields. I coach. I think you walk out to Sullivan Field and by mid-September, it's like a mud pit. So, I think given the usage we have in the town, we do need more turf fields. I also agree with some of the other statements that, I think a master plan would be nice. We don't want to turf everything. I think we need a nice mix. But, I think this will give us a good opportunity to provide more open fields for the kids to play on.
No, I totally agree.
I would ask Jay, it's Peter, to just make sure, Lisa, that you reflect these concerns in the minutes to make sure that this is on record.
If you'd like, I am actually typing the minutes as the meeting goes on, and under this it says discussion, general support, EnviroFill support, safety concerns. Representative McCormick supports this project, but going forward, more planning. Grass is preferred, but given the usage, the need is for turf. Are you comfortable with that, Mr. Beck?
I am.
I think that's a good summary.
There too. I agree with that statement entirely.
Okay,
Perfect.
So when you
Lisa.
See it next month, you'll send me more chocolate.
There you go. They are.
I asked you for chocolate tonight, Lisa.
I know.
I think you said you had a half a bag left.
I have half a bag.
For all of you who don't know, I used to go, when we were, I used to go to all the Board of Ed meetings back in the day. That's how I met Lisa. And Lisa would always we'd be sitting in the back listening to the meetings, and Lisa would always go, "You want a chocolate?" So I'll never forget that.
I got that
Lisa.
from the superintendent.
You and Christine. And you and Christine also. Right.
That was from Dr. Clark. She used to put candy on the board table.
Oh, okay.
I was
remember.
I want chocolate, so I brought my own and shared it with everybody around me. All right.
Who took over after Dr. Clark? Remember? Who was the Board of Ed chairman? I forgot.
Oh.
Was it Brenda?
No, Board of Ed. No, she was the superintendent.
No.
Oh, right. She was the superintendent. That's right. She was the superintendent. That's right.
It was Dr.
All right, Jay, we got to vote on the sucker by
Anyway, so why don't we vote on this? Everybody in favor? Everybody in favor of this? Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Any noes? Abstentions? So that passes. Okay, so we go right to the HVAC, right? Number 11. Air conditioning upgrade?
Yes, that's what I have next.
So anybody want to make a motion to approve
As presented.
as
What's
presented?
the number, Jay, on that HVAC?
It's number 11
On the
I mean, the amount.
agenda.
on the agenda.
Okay, I don't have in front of me the what amount is being allocated.
It's 22.
That's the
It's
one,
22,701. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lisa. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't speaking.
Who was speaking?
But
But
that was
Peter.
Christine. I was just going to read the
Peter.
number. It was the $22 million one.
Right.
Mhm.
It was the one where he said they had to ask for the entire amount up front because of the state requirement.
Right, and Ed came back and actually made a good point because of the chain of, goods is being disrupted coming into the country, and he was concerned, when is all the material going to come, and is the material going to be more money when it comes later, it's like, he made good points, but I have to tell you, what I said was just, I have to tell you guys, I remember when Stratfield School didn't have air conditioning, and the third floor was a nightmare. You have to bring all the kids downstairs. It was just, so I feel for the schools that didn't, that haven't had it up till now. And that what I said, I don't know if I was like clear, but the Board of Ed did away with winter break because of no air conditioning, because the parents wanted to get their kids out of school earlier in June. So by canceling winter break, that canceled some days earlier that they got out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at that meeting when it happened.
Huh.
The parents were lined up at that meeting, and they were screaming, and I was right there. I sided with it. North Stratfield school parents were out of control. It was so hot in the school. Matter of fact, one of the teachers at Fairfield Woods told me that he couldn't teach in his class when it got hot. So anyway, I'm glad it's all happening. I know it's a lot of money, but the schools at this juncture needs to be air conditioned.
Can I ask a question? And I didn't want to take up more time at the meeting.
No, go ahead.
I was exhausted. But I know everybody keeps talking about can't open windows, Sandy Hook, this caused this issue.
I heard you could.
I don't know of any law or regulation that actually says that. I mean, who's made the rule that they can't open windows?
You're right.
Wait, there's an answer.
Uh-oh.
It was Dr. Title and the police chief that made that decision.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
but we can't really isolate ourselves in a little microcosm of Fairfield, Connecticut, when we have an entire world that operates under a different set of rules. And I'm not suggesting that Karen McCormick of the RTM is going to dictate how they deal with security issues, but I just am curious as to how it ever came to be an accepted, foregone conclusion that we can't open windows, because I know that schools do open windows in other places within Connecticut, and I'm sure that they do throughout the country as well. So, again, I didn't want to get into the weeds with this thing because I think it's really a non-issue for this vote, but I do think it's something that needs to be looked at, because everybody keeps saying it's an air filtration issue. We can't open the windows, but schools throughout the country open their windows, and they all face a similar risk of security. So just an item to
not really,
think about.
Karen. Most of them have stopped in an effort to harden the schools, because since there's been so little progress on restricting the ability to buy a gun,
Connecticut has some of the most stringent and strict rules in the country to buy a gun, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
yeah, we're not even going to get into that. But the effort in general the political effort in general has not focused on the guns. It's focused on hardening the schools. And so that's why after Sandy Hook, there's been an intensive move to put metal detectors in schools and limit the access. You used to be able to go in and out any door. Now you can only go in and out one door. You have to get buzzed
I'm aware.
in.
I'm aware of all that. I'm aware of. What I'm saying is I'm hearing Fairfield schools can't open their windows. That's not the case throughout Connecticut. I know for a fact that schools in Connecticut can open their windows, and I wondered who the rule, who's the one that this is a requirement.
I'm sure it's district by district, and they're probably not going to risk it.
All I'm suggesting
guys,
is
can I-
that it's something that should be looked at.
No,
because
I-
we're not special in Fairfield, Connecticut. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I hear what Karen. I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you something. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Jake, because I agree. It's something that needs to be looked at. But I just have a question in general. My understanding is these systems are operational year-round. They provide air conditioning, but they're not just air conditioning systems. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah, okay.
Pumping fresh air into the system all year.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Karen,
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure I understood that.
It improves the air quality as well.
So let me just.
I guess my question would be: I was educated in the Fairfield Public Schools, and I didn't grow up with asthma. I haven't gotten lung cancer. I went to Stratfield School probably when it was infested with all sorts of asbestos, and I went to Woods before it was renovated. And I'm not saying that I'm a product of the school system and made it out okay with my health, but the point is that everybody keeps talking about air quality, and I just, listen, I'm all for making sure that things are comfortable. I was really taken aback today when Angelus was talking about the fact that they had to turn the air on today in the schools. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think we've risen to the level. I'm very concerned that there's going to be extra added expense to the taxpayers as well in running these systems in terms of energy costs. And, if they thought that today was the day that they needed to turn air conditioning on in all the schools in Fairfield, then, we've certainly gotten to the point in time where, people are allowed to spend the taxpayers' dollars without there really being a pressing need. Today was not an air conditioning day.
But listen, I have to tell you that a lot of this. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I went into several businesses today, and they all had their air conditioning on, and that's if you didn't have, where I worked, the windows were open. It was muggy and stuffy, but the windows were open. But in any building I went in today that didn't have windows that open, the air conditioning was on. So it's like a sign.
Again, I just want to make one comment on this. The one thing, I grew up in a world where fresh air was the best air. So I can remember in school, and again, I prefer not to date myself here, but, we always had the windows open when the weather got warm. And to a certain degree, we still try to do that now in our home. A lot of businesses, because the way the windows are built, you can't actually open them, which is why they have the HVAC systems to circulate the air. So, Karen, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. And I'm naturally skeptical of any kind of an expense like this, particularly when it comes from a school board. But it seems to me, particularly in light of just in the overall environment, it just seems to me that it's probably something that needs to get done, as much as it pains me to say that.
I didn't say I wasn't going to support it. I'm just putting out there what my concerns in general are about it, and I do think that Pam's comments about making sure that the Board of Education is held to account for their capital planning and waterfall needs to really happen, because so far the Board of Ed seems to have an open checkbook to basically spend whatever they want in light of the political makeup of the different boards in our town. And I am very concerned about the burden on the taxpayers of this town going forward for not just these projects, but all the projects that are to come over the coming years. So those are my concerns.
I completely agree with that. I completely agree with you there.
Hey, this is Jay. Just ask one thing, that aren't some of these schools that we're talking about air conditioning? I'm not saying all of them. I think maybe Ludlow. I'm not quite sure. I know Ward. They're going to be putting in solar paneling, and this is going to alleviate a lot of the electric costs when they get these projects done, because it's going to happen. They're going to be doing it in the schools. I mean, they were going to do it at Tomlinson schools, just so long as you guys know, and they were going to put it down by the train station, but the condominium that adjacent to the parking lot across from Tomlinson complained about putting in these solar panelings that would have benefited Tomlinson, that would have alleviated this cost of the air conditioning. So it isn't that much. It is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
I'd ask to see studies on that, because although I don't disagree that solar panels can certainly supplement the energy needs of the town, but I would imagine the draw for something as powerful and as with such strong power needs as a central air conditioning system for an entire school is not going to be powered entirely by solar panels on the roof of the school. That doesn't mean it can't be offset by the solar panels, but I don't think all of the costs and expenses are going to be.
Right, but it'll alleviate some of the costs, which is good.
It could, it may not. We don't really know. Could it be a small portion, a large portion, half the portion? Who knows? But unless we have numbers showing exactly what that is, I guess.
Karen, don't forget this whole thing about air conditioning has a lot to do with COVID. You know what I mean? That's part of it.
Well, the kids were home actually, and they had masks on, so I guess that protected them.
Yeah,
you're right. They didn't need to breathe in the school if they were home for part of it.
Yeah,
listen,
you're right.
I'm not discounting the fact. Yeah. I'm not discounting the fact that we need to consider doing this, but obviously the spending in this town at this point is, quite frankly, unprecedented and concerning. That's it.
I just wish they would have done the air, little by little. Whoever was in charge in this town for years, could have done it little at a time. Appropriated money for one school, then the next year or the 2 years, next budget site, you do another school. Instead of letting it wait till it all happens at once. It seems like that's what's happened in this town. Everything happens at once. It's not like.
Well, schools weren't air conditioned for centuries, right? They were not air conditioned, and they didn't have to be air conditioned. So I think the needs of a society change over time, and priorities differ. Yeah. And our priority right now seems to be this. For generations 20 years ago, it wasn't, and that's just the way life is. And now we get stuck with the bill, but that's okay.
Well, I know.
Lisa, District 6, Karen, to that statement, 20 years ago, my kids were in elementary school, and it was unbelievable. Kids would throw up. They would be sent home. So we have improved, I believe, our priorities in protecting the investment in our teachers, our buildings, and our students.
They let the kids out of school when there's a snowflake coming down. I don't buy that. They even said tonight that they have had schools closing on days where there's been excessive heat. I'd like them to tell us how many days they've had to close the schools due to excessive heat.
Not that many.
Schools that don't have air conditioning.
I don't know exactly, but it's not a huge amount. And to my knowledge, it's been half days, which constitute a full day of learning. So they haven't lost, added on extra days at the end.
Right. So that proves the point that there's been really no learning loss due to these days that have been lost at the end of the school year. But in any event, listen, I think we're all in agreement. This is something that needs to be done, it sounds like. But I think that we all need to be mindful going forward, not us in particular, but the people that are doing the planning need to be mindful of the fact that this is being approved by us, but with a very careful eye towards the purse strings of this town. That's it.
That's a good statement. I agree with that.
Yeah, this is Ken, and I just want to make one quick final comment, and then we can vote, because I am really getting hungry. Jay, I completely agree with what you just said. I've just joined the RTM in the last few months, so a lot of this stuff is new to me, but it just seems like there's all these projects that are coming all at once, and a lot of this stuff, it just seems to me, could have been done
right
over time, but never was. And the only thing I can say is, I was president of the condo association at Southport Woods, and this association had run into a similar situation where maintenance was deferred in order to keep costs down, and then what happened is the piper eventually need to be paid, and it's
and I was the
pretty. And
here we are.
I think that's where we are.
And Jay was the president of Dogwood Green for 7 years. And when I took over, this place was the same thing. Maintenance was deferred. As a matter of fact, I changed my name to Barack Wolk. That's what I took over. Okay, it was horrible. Yeah. The roofs weren't being taken. Matter of fact, you're supposed to you could put a second roof on. That's really the law. But when we did the roofing project here, when the roofers came, some of these roofs on these buildings had 4 roofs, and so just cutting costs, not doing the right thing. Nobody wanted to pay more money. They assessed people when they needed to, but they never raised the common charges to keep up with the cost of living. So when I took over, the first thing I had to do was raise the common charge because we couldn't pay our bills. We were behind on bills to make the people. We weren't paying our bills. So
it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. In the same situation. Yeah.
And and let me tell you, being a president of a board, of a condo board, it's a thankless job. So I commend you for doing it.
I completely agree with you. But anyways, I just wanted to make that comment. So let's vote on this sucker.
So yeah, why don't we vote? You're absolutely right. So why don't we take a vote? Everybody in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? So that passes. Thank you, everybody. And so is that it? Or we got one more?
One more.
We got one more.
Is that which one is that? Is that let me see.
The Ward air conditioning for $1,094,485.
Anybody want to make a motion to accept the reading? I will. Jay.
Can you repeat that? What number are we doing?
We're at 12.
$1,094,485.
Got it. Yep. Okay.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I did, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Who was second? Second?
McCormick will second it.
Thanks, you,
Karen. All right, anybody open for discussion on this?
Big ditto for me.
I ditto that.
I ditto all the comments we just made.
I did.
Yeah, we're not from the 80s, are we?
No.
Jinx,
I'm from the 60s. I'm from the 60s. Anyway, Woodstock. But meanwhile, so anybody, let's take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those no. All those, so that passes.
Awesome.
So who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
This is Ken. I heartily make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Seconded. All right, everybody get home. I won't say it, Karen.
Come on.
I'll see you next Monday.
Thanks,
Drive
everybody.
carefully. Maneuver your home.
Thanks.
Don't bump into the walls now. Goodbye.
See you. Thanks for coming.